Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So we continue reading again, first chapter, Observing the Armies of the Bhagavad Gita, as it is, translation and purport by His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Text 28. Arjuna uvāca. Dṛṣṭvemaṁ sva-janam Kṛṣṇa. Yuyutsuṁ samupasthitam. Sīdanti gātrāṇi. Mukham pariśuṣyati. dṛṣṭvemaṁ sva-janam Kṛṣṇa. Yuyutsum samupasthitam. Sīdanti gātrāṇi. Mukham pariśuṣyati. dṛṣṭvemaṁ sva-janam Kṛṣṇa. Yuyutsum samupasthitam. Sīdanti gātrāṇi. Mukham pariśuṣyati. Somebody. Word for word meaning? Arjuna uvāca. Arjuna said, dṛṣṭvā, after seeing, imam, all this, sva-janam, kinsmen, Kṛṣṇa, O Kṛṣṇa, yuyutsum, all in a fighting spirit, samupasthitam, present, sīdanti, are quivering, mama, my, gātrāṇi, limbs of the body, mukham, mouth, cha, also, pariśuṣyati, is drying up. Arjuna said, my dear Kṛṣṇa, okay, everybody then, seeing my friends and relatives, present before me, in such a fighting spirit, I feel the limbs of my body quivering and my mouth drying up. Purport. Any man who has genuine devotion to the Lord has all the good qualities which are found in godly persons or in the demigods. Whereas the non-devotee, however advanced he may be in material qualifications, by education and culture, lacks in godly qualities. As such, Arjuna, just after seeing his kinsmen, friends, and relatives on the battlefield, was at once overwhelmed by compassion for them who had so decided to fight amongst themselves. As far as his soldiers were concerned, he was sympathetic from the beginning, but he felt compassion even for the soldiers of the opposite party, foreseeing their imminent death. And while he was so thinking, the limbs of his body began to quiver, and his mouth became dry. He was more or less astonished to see their fighting spirit, Practically the whole community, all blood relatives of Arjuna, had come to fight with him. This overwhelmed a kind devotee like Arjuna. Although it is not mentioned here, still one can easily imagine that not only were Arjuna's bodily limbs quivering and his mouth drying up, but he was also crying out of compassion. Such synonyms or symptoms in Arjuna were not due to weakness, but to his soft-heartedness, a character of a pure devotee of the Lord. It is therefore said, Yasya sti bhaktir bhagavati akinchana sarvai gunais tatra samasati sura harau bhaktasya kutumahad guna manoratina shati davantu bahi. One who is unflinching, or one who has unflinching devotion for the personality of Godhead, has all the good qualities of the demigods. But one who is not a devotee of the Lord has only material qualifications that are of little value. This is because he is hovering on the mental plane and is certain to be attracted by the glaring material energy. Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 5, Chapter 18, Text 12. Arjuna uvāca dṛṣṭvemaṁ sva-janam Kṛṣṇa yuyutsuṁ samupasthitam sīdanti mama gātrāṇi mukham ca pariśuṣyati. So now, Arjuna, in the middle, just prior to the battle, middle of the battlefield, seeing his relatives, friends, kinsmen, and he's undecided what to do. The symptoms are given here. Quivering of one's body. It's like when you see some signs of bad things to happen. Sometimes your left eye also will like quiver, right? You have that experience? I have experience of that also. Or when drying up means like nervousness is there, or like really drying up means don't know what to say. It's like empty. So Arjuna is a Satriya, and as a Satriya, Prabhupada says they're allowed to kill, especially the opponents. Or sometimes they would go for practicing in the forest to kill wild animals for practice. They can do that so that the time of battle or war, then they'll be prepared. They're like, their skills will be very, very sharpened. Shooting arrows, or sometimes the kings, they would kill lions and tigers with their bare hands. They will not use any dagger or anything, no. Just to test how powerful they are. So these are Satriyas. The Brahmanas, you don't expect to go to the forest and kill animals for practice. Well, they have their own duties to study the Vedas, to study the scriptures. And they have these qualities that Satriyas doesn't have, like compassion, kindness. Of course, Satriyas also are having this, but in a very intense way. the kings or the Kshatriyas, especially the kings, they are like the leader of the kingdom. And in the early days, they don't have this court. You know, like right now, if you have a case in the court, it'll take 10 or 40 years to resolve what is the solution, right? But for the king, instantly he can make a decision. In few minutes, okay, the person needs to be hanged, person needs to be released, no problem. But today, you're in jail already for like 20 years, and then when you get your trial, they found out you are innocent. So you already suffered inside so much. So there are different qualities in these different ashrams, or varna, social class in the society. The Kshatriyas, the Brahmanas, the Vaishyas, the Sudras. And naturally, Arjuna is a Kshatriya, but he's also a Vaishnava. He's a devotee of the Lord. So, his being undecided not to fight is not a sign of weakness. Yeah, compassion, that's the right word. And this see, we learn so many things from Bhagavad Gita. Compassion, equanimity, many things we can learn. And here, the compassionate nature of Arjuna is being described because he has a genuine devotion towards the Supreme Lord. He has to follow the instruction from Lord Kṛṣṇa, but at the same time, in the beginning, is against his will. He doesn't want to do it because, hey, just imagine, Chaitanya, you're a Kshatriya, then you have to kill your forefathers or grandfather, or what are you going to do, Chaitanya?
I will kill if they are on the side of others.
You will kill if?
If they are the side of, they have the side of others.
If they're on the side of adharma. That's right. Truth has to be established. Remember the last time we had the meeting? The main purpose of the Bhagavad Gita is not to convince Arjuna to fight, but to show the compassionate nature of Lord Kṛṣṇa to the jivas, especially in the age of Kali, the conditioned souls. So here, the Pandavas, they grew up with the Kauravas, the same house, same under one roof, because King Pandu, who is the younger brother of King Dhritarashtra, he is the elder brother, but he is blind, so he cannot lead. Then King Pandu died, so automatically it is the children who is the right heir to the throne. So yes, he grew up with these people, personalities, friends, relatives, even teacher. So naturally, when you grow up with someone, you develop affection towards them. Even if you're not really like blood related, sometimes they say, oh, he's my brother. But then if you say, is he your brother really? No, he's my brother relative. They will call each other, right? In India, it's like that. And sometimes friends, the relationship are thicker than one's own real brother or relative, because they are together, they grew up together, in times of troubles and happiness. So within the heart of Arjuna, they became so dear to them already. It's not possible to face them. It's not possible. So he was thinking not only also of the soldiers under him or with his family, but he's also thinking of the others. The opposite, the opponent, is also thinking about them because, hey, I'll be the cause of they have families also. So if I kill them, then I'll be the cause of the distress of the family members of those who will be killed. So he is like, the Vaishnava is like that. He's not just only thinking of his own family, he's also thinking of others. Because we all are family members. We may have different fathers in this lifetime, but ultimately our main father is Lord Kṛṣṇa. So, to keep the kingdom, to gain a kingdom, am I be the source of ruination of the others, including, just like, that's why Yudhishthira Maharaj at the end of battle, Kurukshetra, he wanted to perform this sacrifice because he knew that he committed sin by killing others. Right? There was a sacrifice where Lord Kṛṣṇa was chosen to be the first person to be worshipped, but then who was opposed to that? Shishupal. Yeah, Shishupal, right from the very beginning, there was an omen saying that he'll be killed by Lord Kṛṣṇa, by the first person whom that child will see. And it was Lord Kṛṣṇa. But then the mother asked, well, because Shishupal is like offense personified. He's very offensive. He's very critical, criticizing all the time. He says, yes, okay, because the omen says, if the person whom he first will meet will be the cause, and he'll be criticizing him up to 100 times. And then after that, so that was the time. That was like when Shishupal criticized Lord Kṛṣṇa. That was the 100th time, and then the chakra was released. So, yes, Arjuna automatically, as a devotee, has a soft heart. What does it mean to have a soft heart? It's like a butter or something? Makan? Makan mishri? Eh? Yeah, soft heart means kind, very easily get affected. Soft-hearted means, yes, paradukha dukhi. Paradukha dukhi means when he sees others suffering, then he also feels the pain. Unlike the materialist, is the opposite. When they see others suffering, they become happy. Yes, yes, you deserve it. You have been doing bad things for a long time. Yeah, you deserve. No. The devotees know that. It's like the other day in the class about that. Who is the one who acts? But we are acting against our will, because it is the modes of nature that is pushing us to do even against our will. So here, to kill so many, there's this thousands and millions being killed. It's considered as a great sin. And just to get a kingdom, this is this very fierce battle. Very, very fierce battle between the two sides. And Arjuna, being a devotee of the Supreme Lord, yeah. Prabhupada gave a lecture in London July 21st, 1973. Even from the previous verse, there is no purport. Why we didn't read the previous verse? Did you read it the last time? You did? You read it? Huh? Yeah, there's a verse here. Kripaya paraya vishto. Kripaya paraya avishto. He becomes overwhelmed with compassion. Very morosely, Prabhupada says, Arjuna says, "O Kṛṣṇa, I fight with them. I will have to kill them. Why this consciousness came?" The other side also, Duryodhan, not think in that way. Why he did not think in that way? Are they thinking like that? On the other side, like Arjuna? Like Duryodhan? With the most evil-minded, envious personality here in this story? Was he thinking like that? Oh, what will happen if I kill the other side? He never think like that because he's very selfish. Duryodhana is like the opposite of Arjuna. He's like yin and yang, or bad and good. It's completely the opposite. Instead of compassionate nature, envious mentality. Why Arjuna is thinking? Because, Prabhupada says, he is a devotee. Bhakto sime shakacheti. I'm imparting you this knowledge because you are my dear friend and also my devotee. Two reasons why the Bhagavad Gita was imparted to Arjuna. Because he is a devotee, that is the difference. So a demoniac person, they only see the bad sides of others. They don't see even one speck of good quality from others. I was just reading. Just be careful. It's like when you speak with someone and then somehow the person is kind of critical of other personalities or other people, and talking to you like this, more likely that this person will be talking also against you when they are talking with others. You have to be careful. These are like, you have to avoid this kind of personalities. It's like, looking for the little, even the most tiniest mistakes or discrepancies, talking about others, which means that when you are not with them, they're also talking to others about you. Be careful with this kind of personalities. Avoid this kind of personalities. Ignore them. Tell them I have better things to do. Or if you're gonna talk with me, I don't want to hear any prajalpa. I don't want to hear anything which is not gonna help me. Well, why do we have to talk with about somebody else? Eh? What is that? Is that going to help me? No, why don't you talk about Kṛṣṇa? Okay, I will talk to you only if we talk about Kṛṣṇa Katha, or how to improve to become a devotee, how to be happy in Kṛṣṇa consciousness, and so on. Don't talk about nonsense things. So Arjuna is a devotee. By nature, he has a soft heart. That is the difference. A devotee thinks like that so many atrocities were done to him, still when the question of killing came, he was not very happy. Remember? Previously to this, They've been insulted. Even they tried to disrobe Arjuna's wife, Draupadi. They're being fed poison. They escaped burning house made of block. They've been banished for 13 years and 1 year incognito, because if they found out on the 14th year, or within that 14th year, then they're going to be banished again. Another 13, 14 years. How cruel this, inflicted to the family, and still, in the end, he doesn't want to kill. Will you do the same thing? No, usually says, yeah, I'm gonna get you. You did this to me. You are finished. Next time I see you, I'm gonna punch your nose. Usually the nature is like that, isn't it? Our reaction is like tit for tat, or whatever you did to me, I'm gonna get you. Much higher, greater, more fierce. You give me a hard time, I'm gonna get back to you. I'm gonna give you more harder time than what you did to me. But Arjuna is like that? No. No. Can you imagine that? He's not an ordinary personality. He's not an ordinary soul. So we should learn from Arjuna like this. But it's not so easy. Because you have to be really humble. Devotee, actually, when something happens to him, he would consider that everything is Krishna's mercy. That I could have suffered more from what I've done from the past, that whatever I'm receiving right now is very minuscule, very little. This is Krishna's mercy. We've done all the sinful activities in the past. Somehow or other, we are here in Vrindavan. Somehow or other, we are trying to practice bhakti. How merciful Lord Krishna is. Just imagine, this is Arjuna, a devotee. So what to say of the Supreme Lord? How much compassion he is. We've committed the same mistakes again and again, birth after birth after birth, and still Krishna is giving us a chance. All the time. Never give up upon us. Where can you find a personality like Krishna? Nowhere. It's not, no. No. Prabhupada says, you commit an offense, I give you a break. Okay, first time mistake, okay, no problem. Second time, okay. No problem. To err is human. Third time, it's okay, And fourth time, maybe I will not give you any more chance. But Prabhupada will always give us a chance also. Being the representative of Lord Krishna. He's just saying that so that we will learn our lesson. If we commit mistakes and offenses and sin again and again and again, it's like, we're just taking advantage of that nature of pure devotee of the Supreme Lord. But here, Arjuna is amazing. He's ready to excuse even the greatest enemy. Are we also able to do that? I know someone, that person cannot forget what's been done to him or to her, even by his or her own relative or his or her own brother or sister, that person will not even want to talk or to see that person for the rest of his life or her life. I know somebody like that. So how are we going to make advancement spiritually? Even if we're chanting Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, if we keep that thing within us, not to forgive for the wrongdoings that others have done to us, because they just became instrumental from the past, that we have to receive that reaction from that person. And I've heard, I didn't get the exact place in the Bhagavatam where it says that the person who gives you the greatest difficulty, actually he's your friend. How? Because he makes your karma lighter. Does it make sense? Well, he became the instrument, but he was not the cause. From the original thing, that what was happening to you actually is from the past. Way, many millions and billions of lifetimes. But somehow, karma also, the karma acts through that personality. So, again, through the material nature. Even though it's against that person, it could be against that person, but somehow, sometimes criminals says, I don't know why I did it. Killing someone. I don't know, my mind went blank. I read this story of this one girl, very young, but due to her upbringing, she was abused so much that when she grew up, then it became like a thrill for her, and she killed one girl, very young girl, 9-year-old girl or something. She's a teenager, the one who killed. So for her to do that act is like due to the past again. And then the other girl who received that also from the previous activities that that girl performed. That's why she ended up like that. So that's why karma is very intricate here. It's like the internet, World Wide Web. You'll get entangled if you go deeper and deeper and deeper. They have this dark web. You ever heard of dark web? Anyway, you never heard of that. Over there, you can buy anything. You can do anything. You can buy and sell anything. But not many can go in there. They get entangled too much. So, yes, he's ready to excuse even the greatest enemy. That's amazing, huh? That Arjuna, being a devotee of the Supreme Lord, is ready to do it. We should be able to follow in the footsteps, but it's not so easy. It's not so easy to do that. It takes a lot of maturity in Krishna consciousness. It takes a lot of advancement in practicing Krishna consciousness to be really compassionate towards others. You see, the Satriya, he can kill, but also he is also compassionate. If he sees an ant, he does not, like step on the ant or something. He knows also that, hey, there is a living soul within the body. So, yes, he was sympathetic from the beginning. but he felt compassion even for the soldiers of the opposite party, foreseeing their imminent death. He was saying that, what is the use if I win the kingdom and I don't have anybody to celebrate it with? Will you be happy if you are celebrating alone? It is your birthday, you have a big birthday cake, but no one is there. You don't have friends, you don't have your relatives, you don't have your loved ones. Are you going to enjoy your big cake? Chaitanya? No. Even if you have a small cake, but you have surrounded with your friends, loved ones, and relatives, you're very happy. You're very happy. So he was saying like that. What is the use? Enjoying the kingdom, but then many will be killed. It's a very, very big decision for Arjuna to execute what Kṛṣṇa has told him what to do. Not so easy. In real life, not so easy. Even for us, I don't know how I'll be able to do it. But we can only do it if we follow the process of Vaidhi sadhana bhakti. We'll be able to understand this. That's why the devotees of the Supreme Lord, they'll be able to adopt and be able to follow in the footsteps of Arjuna because of the practice that's been instructed to us. We're able to follow this. We'll be able to understand. Prabhupada says there are many scholars, professors who will teach Bhagavad Gita to their students, but because they don't practice, they just know theoretically what is the Bhagavad Gita, but then when they go home, they do all those nonsense activities. Then their students also, they will just pass. They will, okay. But they will not really know what is the meaning of Bhagavad Gita. Okay? So we stop here now. Any points or any questions? February. Tomorrow is the 5th or what? 4th? Okay. I have a class for Delhi University giving me a warning here. Time sensitive.
It's in university? Like some college?
No, Delhi University. University.
The main central university?
Yeah.
I thought in North Campus or somewhere.
There is one devotee there who's doing chapter by chapter. So I usually give classes to them. They have a good club, Delhi University. Yeah. Okay. Huh? Where is Mike? Back to Mike.
Back to Mike.
He's hiding.
Back to Mike.
Maharaj, as Kshatriya, Arjuna is practicing the killing of the animal.
Was that again?
Arjuna is practicing killing of the animals in the forest. Arjuna.
Feeling of the animals?
And they went in the forest to kill the animals for practicing.
Yeah. They're allowed to do it.
So here Yuyutsum Maharaj, after killing, why he is morose?
Yeah, but this is not practice anymore. This is real. This is real. This is real now.
But they have killed all the Kauravas were killed in battlefield.
Yeah, well, you see, the nature is like a devotee doesn't even want to step on ant. Prabhupada says this. This is the nature of the devotee of the Lord. He doesn't want to harm anyone. But aggressors, you can kill. And they're one of the aggressors. A mosquito, you can kill. If you are sleeping and there's a mosquito net and there's one and you cannot sleep, and tomorrow you have to do Mangal Arti, puja. So this is an aggressor. You can kill. Prabhupada says that. One who puts fire into your house, or one who kills your wife. Or, there's it's you have to do that. Aggressors you can kill, but at the same time you don't want to kill them. But at the same time, you have to do it. So to atone for the sin, because he knew that it is sinful also. It is the nature of the Vaishnava. Even though it is no sin, because it was Lord Kṛṣṇa who instructed Arjuna to do that. He says, you don't worry, all of them actually are already killed by me. Right? You just have to execute. They're already dead. But you have to do it. So the 5 Pandavas and King Yudhishthira, they're all kings, but or princes, but king, he's the emperor, he's the next emperor.
So anyhow, whatever you do, you have to atone for that one.
Yeah, you see, even right now we're breathing in bacteria. How do you get COVID? Chaitanya, how do you get COVID? If our immunity is down, where does the bacteria enter? Speak in the mic. Where does the bacteria enter? Yeah, the eyes, like if you go like this, because these are openings. There are 9 holes in our body. 2 nostrils, 2 eyes, a mouth, 2 ears, an anus, and private part. Right? So when they enter inside, they also get killed, but they're also alive. Or when you inhale, this hot air or air steam, you're killing them. So how? Is that Prabhupada? Even when you walk, there's so many bacteria here. Bacteria is everywhere. You're killing them. How to counteract this? I mean, you cannot avoid it. You have to chant Hare Krishna and pray that somehow it's part of their life also. When you become a devotee, then you're not accountable, or you don't have to pay any debts to anyone, to anybody. If you're not a devotee, you have to pay your debt to the ancestors, to the forefathers, to the demigods, to Mother Nature, many. But being a devotee, that means you've already passed through that. Okay? But still, Yudhishthira Maharaj is very, this is the nature of devotee. Even though he did not commit sin, he's still thinking he committed sin. That's why a devotee is always cautious in all of his dealings. He doesn't want to harm anyone. He doesn't want to have anyone become displeased with him. Okay, you may be displeased with me, but I don't mind. But still, I don't want you to be displeased or unhappy. This is devotee's nature, qualities, devotee. Anything else? Yes.
How can we forgive our enemies? It's so difficult. I mean, whatever you say, it's very easy to say, but it's so difficult.
How can you forgive your enemy? You have to forgive yourself first. How do you forgive? Ultimately, the cause, you came late, right? The cause of your suffering is not because from others. The cause of your sufferings is yourself. Okay? Whatever is happening to me, the whole world doesn't have anything to do with it. it is because of me. Because I'm the one who committed the sin. I'm the one who committed mistakes. I'm the one who committed offenses. And only through others that my karma is, I am receiving right now. So I have to improve, find ways how to improve ourselves. It's not so easy to understand and comprehend this thing. This is how karma works. Whatever is happening to us is only because of me. So there's nobody really to be forgiven. The only person whom I should forgive is myself. Because I'm the one who committed all of this offenses or sins. And if I'm not recognizing that I was the one who was the cause of this, then we will continue to suffer again and again and again. That's why there is a way called atonement. And the best way how to do that is to chant Hare Kṛṣṇa, Hare Kṛṣṇa, Kṛṣṇa Kṛṣṇa, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Does it make sense?
Yes, Maharaj.
It makes sense now. Yes.
You said that mosquitoes or bacteria, mosquitoes are when they go in our nose. How
The bacterias,
no,
the virus, mosquitoes.
how we can avoid this?
How do you avoid? Use all out.
No,
By mistake.
Go in the
by
nose.
mistake they
Go to your nose,
yes,
and then?
they round and round.
Huh? They go inside?
Yes.
You cough or you just look like, go like that? You sneeze, they will go out. Sometimes an ant goes inside your ear, isn't it? Huh? Yeah, by mistake, you're sleeping, there's an ant. So don't put food around, okay? Cockroaches, mice, or, because you leave food around. If you're clean, they will not be there. And use all out, all out. Odomos, Odomos, yeah, or citronella. Citronella. If you go to Mayapur, you have to use them. In Vrindavan, not so much. But in Mayapur, Prabhupada went to Mexico and he was giving class outside in the garden. So there are many mosquitoes. And the disciples, they were like going like this, like this, like doing like this. Prabhupada was sitting nicely, giving nice harikatha. And in the end, the disciple asked Prabhupada, how come no mosquitoes coming around you? Prabhupada says, oh, here they know how to discriminate. In Mayapur, they don't know how to discriminate. That's why if you go to Prabhupada's house in Mayapur, you have been to Mayapur? Yes. You've seen his house. There is like, some wooden things where they put his mosquito net. Yeah, mosquito net. Yeah. Even here, Prabhupada also uses mosquito net when he's so. Hare Krishna. All glories to the mosquitoes in Mayapur. Mm-hmm. Hare Ram.
Maharaj, why devotees are sometimes envious of each other?
Sometimes or most of the time? Why? That is the material world. It's like You see, we're in the hospital. Again, I gave this example before. We're in the hospital. So everyone is sick. If you're not sick, then you're not in the hospital. You're outside. So our movement is like a hospital, Prabhupada says. We're all materially diseased. So these anarthas are all there. And we keep going, practicing bhakti sincerely. Then this will be uprooted. But envy is very difficult to give up. That's why one is envious, because of false ego, ultimately. I read again another story. I like to read, how to, like moral values. If you have ego, you cannot develop love. You cannot, there is no way. If you have ego, that means you're envious. And envious is the opposite of love. Even, we read the other day, even a cobra, there are two kinds of envious personalities. Snake and a man who is envious. You cannot, the man who is envious, there is no mantra to cure him. The snake, there is a mantra. Also, you can pacify the snake. But an envious-like personality, only a pure devotee can change his heart by following his instruction. No other way. That's why Prabhupada says, that's why we're still in the material world, because there's still envy within our heart. So don't be surprised. Don't be surprised. Envy is there everywhere.
After hearing Bhagavad Gita, we hear every day this thing, but still
you're not really hearing properly. You're not hearing properly. Hearing means practicing. Application. Hearing what? The birds also, if they hear, they'll just repeat, but they don't know the meaning. There are some birds, you can teach them how to speak. Yeah, Maina, you know Maina? You've heard of Maina? Parrots. You can teach them how to say Hare Krishna, but they don't know what's Hare Krishna. You can teach them Maha Mantra. I've seen a dog say Ram, Ram. You've seen that? Huh? Yeah. Ram, Ram. It's a dog. But does he know what is Ram? So, hearing means, I mentioned this comment in the Bhagavatam class the other day. Right? When you were there in the Bhagavatam class, I made this comment. When you hear something, you're really attentive. I gave a class yesterday in East Coast, North America. Hearing is very important. Hearing, attentive hearing, means you really have to capture into your heart what you've heard and practice it. Not just it goes here and comes out here, or it doesn't even enter. There's block. There's a blockage. No. Huh?
Only alphabet enters.
Yeah, only letters. This is very powerful. What we're hearing every day, Bhagavad Gita, Śrīmad Bhagavatam, the transcendental sound vibration. One time Prabhupada was giving class in South India, so he had his foreign disciples there sitting in front of him. So the first day he was giving class and he was speaking in Hindi, right? And the next day, one of his disciples is not present. So he asked him, "Where were you?" "Oh, Srila Prabhupada, I was not able to understand what you were speaking." He says, no, you should still sit there because these sound vibrations are so powerful. It goes into your heart. So when we hear, we should be really fully attention focused. When we're in the Srimad Bhagavatam class or in the Bhagavad Gita class, try to assimilate, try to really capture the sound vibration coming from the Bhagavad Gita, the speaker, Lord Kṛṣṇa, or his devotees. Because this is the purifying effect. This actually purifies our hearts. We cannot imagine how much purification we are experiencing or we are receiving every time we hear the words from the Bhagavad Gita, from the Srimad Bhagavatam, from Lord Brahma. We've been hearing Lord Brahma so many months. You say, one may say, oh, come on, Lord Brahma, I have enough of you. Lord Brahma, bye-bye, I'll see you some other time. I want to hear something else. No. No. Right? Again, Bhaktisiddhanta Sarasvati Thakur says, the degree of one's advancement can be measured by how eager that person or that devotee wants to hear the glorification of the Lord's holy name, fame, form, qualities, and pastimes. That is the criteria how we can measure if we're really making advancement or not. This is also kirtanam. Kirtanam doesn't mean only chanting Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. And this is so purifying. You never get tired of Bhagavad Gita. How many times we've been, 700 verses, then we go again and again and again. How many times now since Mother Parvati started this? How many times we've been through Bhagavad Gita? And others say, oh, yeah, this is for the neophytes, Not for me. I want the 10th canto, the Rasa Lila part. No, if you cannot go beyond this, if you cannot realize how nectar the Bhagavad Gita is, it's like, you see, we only read one verse, but so many things came. Right? So I really and I'm grateful and thankful for you all. You've been regulars here, coming every day. That means you have a taste in Krishna consciousness to be here every day. Right, Karvajan Prabhu?
Yes, Maharaj.
Okay.
The instruction of Prabhupada, you should attend Bhagavatam class and go there.
Yeah. Others may be listening through FM.
Guru you should follow.
Oh, our Hindi FM transmitter is coming today or tomorrow. I ordered it.
It was here also. What happened to that?
Well, I don't know what happened, but maybe we'll order another one. I don't know. This is connected, I think, with the...
Right now,
Yeah.
that's why there was separate. You bought it for here.
Yeah. Oh, you had 3?
We had it, yeah.
Yeah. I'll try to...
What happened to that? When something else had problem, then they took it out from here and never came back.
Yeah. We'll find out. And because now most of the devotees have internet connections or Wi-Fi at home, so they can see or watch directly from... it's not the same. Not the same also. The FM. It comes up, it comes down. Comes up, yeah. FM always, yeah. We'll try to find out where it is, and maybe I'll order another one for here, Bhagavad Gita. Anyone who wants to sponsor? Jai. We'll try to get one. The Hindi Balaram Hall, it just now come. I'm about to receive it. Yeah.
Connect, a lot of program goes into other hall.
Oh yeah.
That should be
They should be connected also. We have kirtans there.
That's something, so that
Yeah.
this transcendental vibration all over. That any
Our main business only is to hear.
right.
We don't have any other business. Yeah, you think of anything else, Chaitanya? What we do all the time? Nothing.
We have to keep hammering this.
We don't have it. Of course, prasadam. That's prasadam. Hearing and chanting and prasadam. That's it. Okay. Thank you very much. Srila Prabhupada ki.